At the beginning of the story, we see a sniper named Krish Kale. Krish Kale is shown in Iraq where the situation is very bad. There is fear of death all around. Krish and his gang are targeting people so that whenever they see anything wrong, they shoot them. Then Krish notices that a woman comes out of the house, carrying a sheet, and she was not moving her hands, as if he has hidden something in his sheet. He also has a child with him. That woman gives something to that child. Krish learns that it is a grenade. He panics, because she knows that the woman has caught the child with this grenade to eliminate those people, so that they can get maximum freedom. Krish was different. He had compassion in his heart. Whenever he used to shoot someone, his hands started trembling. His heart would not allow this, but he had to do it because of his country and orders. Here also it had to shoot this kid. Otherwise he himself would have been killed. Krish shoots the kid, and from here the story goes to a flashback when Krish was a small child. He went to the forest to hunt with his father, where his father teaches him to hunt. Now many years pass and Krish has grown up. Now he's a cowboy. He has a lot of interest in his profession. One day when he comes home early, he sees that his girlfriend is with another man at home. Krish is deeply hurt by this and asks his girlfriend to leave. After this, he meets his brother and starts watching TV with him. He learns from the news that there have been some attacks on the US Embassy, due to which he had to face a lot. Simply, this is the time when the thought comes in Krish's heart that he will serve his country. He goes for the interview and luckily gets selected. His training starts. After a lot of training, Krish becomes capable enough to call himself a good army officer. One day, he goes to a bar where he meets a girl named Taya. A lot of good things happen between these two. Soon they become friends, and friendship turns into love and love turns into marriage. But Krish gets very busy after going to Iraq, because there he gets very difficult missions. A lot of courage is needed to fulfill those. He kills a lot of people, even though he didn't want to. He had to do all that for his country, which he didn't want in his heart. Because of this, everyone praises him a lot, and he gets a senior rank. Looking at his courage and killing history, he is given another huge mission, which is to kill a very dangerous terrorist. The name of that terrorist is Abu Musab. To find out, the US Army goes door to door asking. They find a family whose head, that is, the man knows about Abu Musab. He says that a man is his companion and I know him. The army intimidates this man so that he gives all the information to them. That man tells them everything to save his life and that of his family. But when this thing is known to the right hand of Abu Musab, so he catches the man's son. To take his revenge, he drops his son on the ground in front of that man and turns on the drill machine and inserts it into the child's head. It was a very painful scene. The father starts crying loudly seeing his son dying. He moves forward, but that man shoots the child's father and makes him fall. Krish starts firing from a distance so that he can attract the attention of Abu Musab's accomplice, but bullets are fired in his direction as well, due to which he fails to save the child. Krish was tired of all this. His mind was not ready to accept all this. How can one person do so much cruelty to another? After some time, both of them get the news that he has become a father. So obviously now his wife and baby needed him. So Krish comes home on leave. Even after coming home, he keeps taking good news about the situation in Iraq in the news. His wife tells him that you always remain silent. Earlier there was only me in your life. I have lived without you. But now that our baby has come into this world, we need you. Krish also realizes this. But the time he had spent in the bad conditions of Iraq, it was very difficult for him to walk and live life in a new way. Because of this, the condition of his family also starts deteriorating. Soon the day also comes when his vacation comes to an end, and now he had to go back. He comes to Iraq by sitting in a helicopter. Arriving in Iraq, he learns that because of his most killing, people are after him, in which Abu Musab and his right hand are in the top list. That's why search operations start happening. The US Army starts searching for Abu Musab and his right hand from place to place. House-to-house searches are conducted. Fear is spread everywhere. One day during the search they find a lot of weapons there. That means the leader of this family is also involved with the terrorist. They have come to know that the house of Abu Musab's companion is in front. Now everyone gets ready to go there and finish off the right hand of Abu Musab. As soon as they reach there, those people start firing on them, in which the right hand of Abu Musab dies. This is a huge achievement for him, because he had killed one of the two terrorists. It has been many months since Krish came here. He also misses his family. But in such a tough environment, he cannot go back again and again. Living in the atmosphere of war, his mental state was no longer the same. Now a lot of progress had come in him. Getting angry at every point, examining everything negatively had become a part of the normal routine for him. Meanwhile, Krish learns that he has a daughter. That's why Krish has to come home once again. He goes to the hospital and starts getting angry on the nurse and staff. Actually, after living in the atmosphere of war, angry aggression had become a habit in him, which seems very seaman here in the hospital. On the other hand, the situation in Iraq starts deteriorating. There is a Syrian sniper in Iraq who is secretly attacking the US Army. He also wanted to defeat Krish so that he could fail in every mission. That sniper fires on the US Army, due to which many people get injured. One of them also happens to be a very good friend of Krish, and 2 special people of the army are also killed. When Krish gets this news, he comes back to Iraq. Here he gets another heart-wrenching news that his friend who was injured has now died. Krish himself also breaks down as he had come to his wife telling her that he is only going back for his friend. In response, his wife told him that family is not necessary for you. You stay there now. And now if you come back you might not find us. Krish gets very upset, but then he is drafted for another mission, which happens to kill this Syrian sniper. They are all deployed at one place, where Krish takes aim at the Syrian sniper and kills him. As soon as he dies, a child comes near his dead body, and he picks up the rocket launcher to play. Now Krish's hands are trembling. Now Krish will have to kill this child even against his will. Krish mentally tells the kid to leave the rocket launcher and go away. But that kid had now picked up the rocket launcher. Now he was trying to fire. Now before Krish kills the kid can't handle the rocket launcher, so he leaves it there. And Krish does not shoot him. Here once again the US Army wins because of Krish. But Abu Musab senses that Krish is around. In such a situation, he starts tracing the US Army and Krish. All of them are leaving from there, that's why the terrorists spread their trap there. Now a sandstorm also comes here, due to which the US Army could not see anything. They also call for help, but nothing was possible this time. Now here Krish gets very emotional and calls his house. He talks to his wife and starts crying. Krish says, "I want to meet you. I will try till my last breath to reach you and my children." Here, instead of being afraid of the sandstorm, the US Army decides that it will take advantage of the chemo flower, that is, the curtain made by the sandstorm, to remove it from here. The US Army does the same, but Krish gets shot on the way, but he still does not give up, and finally all of them reach a safe place. Krish is taken from there to his home. His wife is very happy to see him, but Krish remains quite silent. He is always lost in some thought. His wife is very worried about his behavior. She takes Krish to a mental health consultant. Here we come to know that behind Krish's silence were his regrets that he had killed so many people. He had made a big mistake. Those people did not deserve to die. Consultant gives courage to him and says, "Krish, you are an army person. If you did this for the protection of your country, then you should not regret it." Along with this, he also invites other such people who had once served in the army. They all share their experiences and give motivation to Krish. Krish now starts thinking that the war is over. Now he has to give quality time to his wife and children. He slowly starts living happily with his family. Suddenly, someone comes to his house. He needed some help from Krish, so Krish goes with her. But now we are told here that Krish was killed by that man. What Krish's wife feared happened. She was left empty-handed. Krish's dead body is brought back to his house with great pomp. At the end of the movie, we are shown the actual pictures, which is a witness to the fact that Krish was indeed a real character. That is, this whole story is based on true events. This story teaches us that no matter who wins the war, losses happen on both sides. Suffering and suffering come from both sides.